Is everything funky?
Welcome to Hidden Notes. I'm Femi OK. The music shows that bring you music you've already seen on television, you've already heard in the charts. Well, this is one of them. There are bands that have thousands of fans. They play great music, never appear on the pop radar. Music from blues to bluegrass to jazz and funk.
Some things ain't worth the fight. You know me well enough to try and act tough. What we had was love at first sight. You point at me, confused what you see. You need something you can't find. Don't wanna give in, take a look, but think you gotta stop and check your mind right now. Right now, well, I've been vilified. Crossing over to the other side. Vilified, well, can't see what's on the inside. Oh, they can't see what's on the inside. Well, talk around town and bring you down. They can't see what's on the inside. It don't mean a thing the mother they slain. They can't see what's on the inside.
To a great concert, and wouldn't you love to get backstage? Well, right now in Open Forum, backstage comes to you.
How did you meet, and how long did it take before you got, before you really gelled?
In New Orleans too, it's really like a musically incestuous community of musicians, and a lot of people play. Yeah, a lot of people play in multiple bands.
Right.
So like I was playing with Stanton in a klezmer band, while Stanton at the same time was doing this band. So that was, like musicians were sort of rotating a lot of just different bands in New Orleans.
So when it came time to go on the road and we were looking for a horn player who would come out for $5 a night.
I'm cheap. He's the only guy they can afford.
Y'all have been playing together a long time, and you've gone through a bunch of personal changes. Like Jeff, you've gotten married, your family now. Does that influence you musically at all, or does it affect your
financially?
cohesion?
We gotta work a lot more now.
I don't know. That's an interesting question. I mean, I just had a kid, I guess, 4 months ago. So, we'll see. But I don't know. We'll see. I guess. Baby changes my.
It's interesting that you'd ask that because Jeff is always writing something.
The new ones are gonna be like nursery rhymes.
Yeah.
I have a two-part question, and the first starts with Rich. Is that you started out as I guess some of your influences were being playing the organ at a hockey games, and kind of and bring it up from there. And then also, Robert, what do you use to make your hair stand up like that?
Oh man!
Either order is fine.
Have you seen the movie Something About Mary?
Those are both excellent questions. Yeah. Do you want to go first?
He answered mine, so.
Well,
You know, I snuck into the arena in New Orleans once and played along with my little Casio, and hoping, you know, someone might notice me. For a minute there. I lived the dream.
I had a question for you. How did your New Orleans roots influence your drumming?
In a huge way. I mean, I grew up, I guess people ask me like what got me interested in drums, and I grew up around parades, you know, like my mom started taking me to parades when I was less than 1 year old. So around 5 or 6 I started noticing, you know, the bass drums coming down the street and stuff. And, you know, it's been said before that New Orleans, you know, the rhythms there are different, and that's because of the mixture of the European influences and the other African and Caribbean influences. They all kind of melded there. So a lot of the great drummers, I think, were influenced by New Orleans in some way or another.
A lot of people have the theory that the record labels are going to fall and independent music is where it's at because of technology. How do you feel about that? Do you want to go the independent route?
I think the most important thing with the label is being with people who understand your music and are willing to work. So it doesn't matter, I don't think, whether it's a big label or it's a small label. I think as long as the people believe in what you do and they're willing to push it forward and they know how to try and, you know, move your music along and get it heard by more people. I think with the major label in our instance, they didn't really quite understand what we were about, and if they couldn't put us on the radio, then they didn't know what to do with us. So, you know, music always comes in cycles, and it's usually something from the underground becomes popular. We've seen it happen, you know, 100 times, where something that, you know, people have been knowing about for a while, for years, and it has a core audience, and then all of a sudden it gets brought up to the mainstream.
I'm here in Tree Sound's world-class Studio A, where artists like Elton John, Matchbox 20, and R.E.M., just to name a few, have recorded. We're here tonight with Ralph Roddenbery and friends as our hidden gem. Let's take a listen.
Well, we talk all day, we don't say a thing. We never say quite what we mean. There was a time that's long gone by. Ooh, we made love, we never had to try. Hell, now we're dancing around the truth. You're pointing at me and I'm pointing at you. Here we go, dancing around the truth. What they say. Sometimes things just get in the way. We walk around, we don't say too much. Oh, love is blind, but so they touch. Yeah, we're just dancing around the truth. You're pointing at me and I'm pointing at you. Thank